Europe, we're getting set up here for game number 2. beGenius taking on Dignitas, and beGenius changed up their draft. You know, I'm kind of proud of them. I'm so proud I even think Crusher 99 would be proud of them.
I suppose, yeah.
The best gamer in the world. No, it's good to see adaptation from them. It's refreshing to see, and it's good to me because they, obviously during the week, they're looking at their opponents, learning from them, and picking up from it. The Dahaka change was great from them. We have not seen much Dahaka from them. Obviously, Dahaka is a menace, and Dahaka did well in that game. It's just you're coming into the late game against Dignitas, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, as much as I do love Dahaka on a map like this, I still think that maybe Falstad has a little bit more variety to it on a map like that. Obviously, Dahaka is great for the split push, great for the soak, great for wave clear. Falstad brings a bit of wave clear, but then he also exerts himself on the boss all the more. True. Mighty Gust to not only control that location, but also control fights if they're not necessarily going your way. And he really helps out Varian, who is one of the only warriors at the very highest end of the meta, who doesn't really have a proper escape, to then say, okay, our Varian's in trouble, Gust away.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
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 Deuces.
Yeah.
Let's get ready for our second battleground here. Find out where our team will be battling out for this best of 5 series. Brex's holdout will not be available. Warhead Junction will not be used. We just finished up on Sky Temple. Our second map will be Infernal Shrines.
Ooh.
Dignitas will the selection here, so beGenius will actually get first pick.
Do we see a Sonya?
Probably.
Later down the line.
I could see it. What I am fearful of is beGenius getting that first pick and just taking away Tychus. I actually hope that they grab Malfurion here.
There's also room, I still think, for a Gul'dan. The Gul'dan that we watched yesterday on Infernal Shrines was beautiful. It's not quite as common in the European scene on Infernal Shrines, but when you do get to see it, and we even had that Bellflame build actually come in, I think it worked out well. So getting into the draft, I think that once again, it might be an ETC ban into Tassadar ban, might be just the normals, unless beGenius really wants to target down something. What do you think?
I would ban ETC, have the Tassadar ban come up from Dignitas, although Dignitas should be aware that beGenius hasn't even shown any Tassadar, so maybe they want to take that gamble. Regardless, though, I assume it will be a Tassadar ban, and then I think beGenius picks up Malfurion, and then from there we go down into the process.
Yeah, so I still think that Falstad's very strong on this map.
Sure.
It just, you know, global. I find it funny how at one point Falstad did fall off for a little while, and then just global made this re-emergence onto the meta. This was a while ago, of course, but a Malfurion ban.
Wow.
Okay, that's another thing that they can navigate to because Bakery is I mean, if you look at most of their drafts, it's mostly a Malfurion first pick.
Yeah.
So
60% of the time. There's Tassadar, so beGenius should take ETC here, I would assume. Which Dignitas will be fine, as they have JPL with its Tyrael gameplay. Do we see something different? I'm trying to think of any other elements. I think Ragnaros is strong, but then you give up ETC to Dignitas.
It makes me think that if this is an ETC pick, there is the potential that we don't see Danatan on it once again. Like, we could easily see Arakim play that. He has played it once during HGC Europe so far. I'm wondering how far that role swap that we saw in game number 1 goes, how deep that runs, if they've been mixing things up. Because for the early and mid game of that first match, it looked fine.
Wow, the first pick Tychus. Dang, disappointed. Disappointed here. Dignitas will be able to get ETC over here. beGenius kind of going back to their old and I guess tried ways, not the ways that were really helping them out too much, but getting Tychus here. Hopefully they can increase their win rate on it. Dignitas to the right now. They will have their ETC available. What else do they move into?
I think the Rehgar.
I
think Bakery probably just wants his healer right now.
Yeah.
I will fight to my last breath.
I was thinking maybe Ragnaros. Ragnaros have been played by both teams, more so Dig than beGenius.
Yeah.
Now to the left, I wouldn't mind seeing... Okay, so we have Tychus now. Maybe beGenius moves into the double warrior, set themselves up here. You were mentioning Sonya earlier. I think Sonya can hang out a little bit later to the end of the draft.
Yeah, she doesn't strike me as a ban. Likewise, I don't know whether Team Dignitas would take it, and if they did, it would end up being Zalia, but he hasn't played it just yet. We've even seen a Kerrigan from him on this map, compared to something like a Sonya, for example. I still kind of like the Varian Li Ming idea, but then it leaves them in a bit of an odd spot for their healer. But I don't think Unstable minds too much because actually he's been one of the only supports in Europe, apart from maybe Sevka, that's prioritized Karazim a little bit more than the usual 3 supports.
There's Ragnaros. Cool.
And
Karazim.
well, there you go.
Good stuff. Yes, you're right. Their second support played most is Karazim. So this also sets them up for a strong 4th and 5th warrior. They'll have a strong melee with Ragnaros. They'll have solid defense too if they do lose out on the Shrine phase. And they will have a good front line. I wouldn't mind seeing Arthas Sonya for 4th and 5th, but let's wait and see the fans.
The funny thing about the Karazim pick is that I don't think it would have ever come to any stage where Dignitas would have banned it. I would love to hear from Team Dignitas' perspective if they scouted out enough of beGenius to think to themselves they would play Karazim over Brightwing. Because that's certainly what has struck me for beGenius throughout our drafts. So I like the variant ban though. I think that just taking away some of that is okay, since they've already got ETC, so they're okay. Medivh.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. We've seen it a few times on Infernal Shrines and Tomb of the Spider Queen from Dignitas, but with ETC, Medivh becomes stronger because you get the engage into the power slide.
It was a while ago, though.
It was a while ago. Still, the Medivh comes out for the ban. It was that or maybe Jaina for me. We've seen so much Jaina from Mene, and she is solid on this battleground, especially if you're playing against auto attackers and Ragnaros. So you're able to clear out the wave much better than them. Because right now the clear for beGenius is much harder to pull off for the Shrine with their first 3 foundations. So Dignitas can prioritize heroes here that do well in clearing that, and Jaina would have been a great pickup.
All right, so usually we figure out what Snitch and Many want now, and then Xaylia kind of just fills towards the end. Xaylia feels like the true Hero League last pick. He's like, oh, Phil, it's fine, guys.
I'm just going to play Minesweeper until the 5th pick comes up, and
he's a nice
here's
guy.
my hero.
He's a nice guy. He's just like, oh, Phil, it's all right, don't worry. That's the kind of guy in Hero League that you want. You want a Xaylia. You want a Xaylia.
What do you think about Jaina's Zeratul?
Yes. I mean, I don't see why not. It's got punch.
Or Arthas Sylvanas.
That's, welcome. Welcome to the Scourge.
Dignitas has been enjoying Sylvanas a little bit more than the other top 3. We've seen her now a few more times than the norm. And then Arthas has jumped up a little bit for them too. I think Arthas is a good pickup here because you take it away from beGenius. With Varian being taken out, I felt like Arthas and then some kind of other warrior, whether it be Sonya or even Johanna. We've seen a lot of Johanna from them. Or the Dahaka would have been the great follow-ups for beGenius. Taking away Arthas now makes it a bit harder for beGenius to get a strong foundation around the shrines.
I'm always a little worried when one of the teams of the big 3 gets Sylvanas against one of the lower-rated teams in HGC Europe, because when they find a kill, they will exploit Sylvanas to no end, and we've seen games end fast because of that, not only in the hands of Fnatic, but also in the hands of Dignitas as well. So yeah, worrying times potentially here for beGenius. They're really going to have to think about how they stop the wave clear. I mean, Ragnaros and Tychus is okay in that regard. I wouldn't mind Johanna. You mentioned it before. I think that would be pretty good. They're going to go down the Muradin path.
Muradin and Falstad.
I like the Falstad. The Muradin...
He's helpful against ETC. He's also helpful against anyone that would be on the backline. But I feel like suddenly now Tracer becomes a tasty pickup for Dignitas. There's not much lockdown. There is Tychus. He's decent with overkill and chasing her, but she can play around it. Muradin has a good chance of missing a Stormbolt. I
think Xaylia will end up being on the Arthas, though, so we can't really think too much about Tychus. I think now we're considering Snitch's pick. Oh, okay, so we're considering Many's pick, and then Snitch will be on the Sylvanas, because Many has played Sylvanas as well during HGC Europe.
Well, I thought Snitch has also played Arthas too, but yeah, okay, Jaina. So they have it clear now. They have Sylvanas for the push, so it looks like Dignitas is all about setting up for a shrine and just playing the battleground, where beGenius has played a little bit different here compared to what we've seen in the past. They have their Karazim to help out in the fights around the shrine phase. The problem is I think he'll have a hard time against Arthas in particular. The slow just being great for lockdown, the Howling Blast being there too, and ETC. So Karazim have to be on point with his movement, and then Muradin's got to be really solid in terms of the engages.
Arthas is a great warrior into Karazim comps. Yeah. Definitely. Not only because at level 13 and 16, you can get things like Trail of Frost into Remorseless Winter, which adds CC for days for Arthas. Yeah. You don't... when you go into a game against Arthas, you don't necessarily think, oh, it's just Howling Blast. You know, you don't think of him as a CC machine, but as the game goes on, he really, really is. So you've got to be very, very fearful of those kind of potentials.
Yeah, Arthas is just that guy that can just stand there forever, and if you don't get kills and you start winning a team fight, eventually there is a tipping point where he just kind of takes over with the rest of his team, and you just start to fall apart, and you have to disengage, but that disengage is very hard for melees in particular.
And it doesn't help that there's so much slow on the side of Dignitas as well, with, you know, Rehgar being able to use... Technically, if we see Colossal Totem into Earthgrass Totem, that'd be cool. I don't mind seeing Lightning Bond at level 1, but then also Jaina, we could quite... I don't think they will go down the path of the extra slow at level 1. It remains to be seen what Many wants to, because he has a few builds that he mixes up. But yeah, it could be slow City and very painful City.
Well, it's game time. Let's find out how we'll do on Infernal Shrines. beGenius looking for a win here against Dignitas.
All right, so to the left-hand side, as beGenius, we will have Kirva on Falstad, Tank FTW on Ragnaros, and next up, of course, we do have Arakeen on Muradin, Danatan on Tychus, and Falstad being played by Kirva.
Bakery will show off Rehgar here on the far right. We'll have JPL and ETC. Haven't seen him on that hero in a while, but it's refreshing to see it. Nick here with Sylvanas. Mayday will be showing Jaina, and he has become a monster as of late on that hero. And Zalia will show off Arthas.
All right, so cool to see this comp come out, and they are looking for tower exploiting. Likewise, though, you can see beGenius is responding in turn to that. So they will push this away quite healthily, not really allowing that entire tower to die off. We're seeing more and more teams accommodate themselves, especially against Sylvanas play. You absolutely have to do that. There's no other way around it.
Yeah, it's become less about the chance of catching your opponents. In the past, you would put 3 people in one lane and just hope you catch Sylvanas, and it became this kind of like 50-50, maybe getting it. Now we see the 2-1-2-1s usually with the rotation happening, and now you can handle that Sylvanas. You don't lose the turret. You lose out some damage, but it's worth the overall defense.
So we're not going deep chill, we're going lingering chill. So Mene just wants to have a little bit more slow duration than necessarily the slow impact. Which I can understand here. You know, the longer that they are actually slowed, then the more chance they have of, say, normal movement speed from Arthas, etc., to actually catch up with them.
Yep, big indicator too that we'll see Arc collect at level 4. He's able to keep that mana topped off for him, so he's going to have ability to drop out his spells.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's very important to point out, because there isn't Malfurion on the side of this Jaina. Where we've seen Malfurion before with Jainas, generally some people can navigate around the idea of using some of those mana talents. But this Jaina here, I think Mene has to mix that in if he wants to keep himself on the map for a while.
Dignitas is playing aggressive here in the early game, which I'm really enjoying. The last time we saw beGenius on this battleground, it was an impressive start for them, as they were aggressive on bushes, always. And that's what Muradin does give this team, the ability to go sit in bushes and be set up for those rotations, because he can tank through a majority of the damage that is here for the early game. So Dignitas, as a squad of 3 to 4, has actually been rotating and putting their tanks front to make sure that those bushes are checked before they do any boosting.
Yeah, HGC is one of the big enablers for that for Team Dignitas. They didn't get it last game, but when they do get it, Jay is without doubt, alongside with Breeze, you know, one of the best ETCs in Europe, if not the world, to be perfectly honest with you. So he understands when he can get those power slides in, how much he can punish with that, with the follow-up that he has with his team. Because again, you know, a lot of these members have just been together for so long. 4 of these members have been together for a long, long time. They get it.
Well, Jaina does get Arcane Intellect level 4. JPL goes for the power slide, will not hit. Arakeen comes in with the storm while JPL is getting punished here, but Arakeen is focused down for the moment. Kirva comes in from the side, does hit a hammering on Bakery. Bakery, though, will jump into Ghost form, be able to escape, and our teams will be able to disperse from the battle, but poke on both sides landing.
So Arcane Intellect coming in, as you mentioned, at that level 4. Jaina will have a bit of an easier time, blowing people up! Falstad gets absolutely snowed on, and that is going to be Tychus also falling down. Arakeen now under a lot of pressure. Blast Wave will be used to get him out of there. Likewise, the Dwarf Toss, and he will be surviving. But now it's scary time, because where's Sylvanas? Is she with all of this?
Yeah, she's top lane.
Okay, this is going to be a lot of damage if they're not careful.
And Jaina can peel off and just be the one to push by herself. However, they're bringing Sylvanas down to the middle lane instead. Oh, they're doing the 39 strat. So instead, they're going to go push into different lanes,
Yeah.
get the experience soaked up, and just force beGenius to come fight them, and just kind of snowball this first early victory. Those 2 picks give Dignitas this option to go this route.
Yeah.
So they grab Mercenaries in the middle, they have Jaina in the bottom. False set up for an engage here. But nonetheless, Dignitas can grab that last minion whenever they would like.
And it's a constricting play. Very, very constricting this is. In Team League, you know, if you're with 5 friends and you know you've got a significant lead in terms of those 5v5s, with that kind of 39 to anything, 20 lead, try this out. Because it's so irritating for a team like beGenius to have to just sit there and play this passive game and not, say, for example, commit too much down towards bottom lanes when they know that they're going to have to clean up a Punisher eventually. They don't know when Dignitas is going to take it, so that creates uncertainty in their mind, and they could be elsewhere.
Yeah, defense becomes much harder when you have the waves pushing into you like we do in the middle lane.
Yeah.
Tychus is rotating in for an aggressive play. The stable got a few punches in for the fight. JPL power slides away. The Molten Core has been burned down, but Sylvanas actually does get picked off as Kirbwa comes in from the flight and picks off Sylvanas on the back right as she was attempting to escape. Mene has rotated around though, Howling Blast into Blizzard, and so Dignitas will take a kill.
It was a good kill, but it got punished. And now you've got to consider Sylvanas will be back. He didn't have Fly, right? Because he used Fly to actually get that kill. So he won't be punished too much in terms of the lane soak, I suppose, because he wouldn't have had Fly anyway. So that's, yeah, a small thing, but 1 for 1.
Well, they save their fort against Sylvanas, which is a major positive. Granted, they had the Ragnaros Molten Core available to help out with that, but still, a thumbs up for me on beGenius on that defense, considering how Dignitas orchestrated that entire engage.
And Sylvanas being away at the back or whatever means that the 3 at the front for Team Dignitas couldn't quite do as much as they wanted with that Punisher. Because obviously, 1, Sylvanas isn't there, and 2, they wanted to maybe try and go and reinforce. And if they don't collapse onto Falstad, then they're in a 4v3 situation compared to a 1v3 situation where they have to collapse. So yeah, it's good for them to just kind of back off and not do as much of that.
Well, now it's all about getting to level 10 here. Mercs grabbing the bottom. Snitch here to help out with the push. The turrets are the name of the game for Dignitas. They want to etch out and defend bigger lead. They have a slight advantage already, but these turrets will help them get closer to that level 10. Meanwhile, Ragnaros has pushed the top lane, and Dignitas miss out on a couple minions of experience. We're going to have Zelia move up there and clear that wave so we can get that experience, but still, 10 is where we're going, and beGenius, they're holding on.
So these hard camps up towards the top now have gained in value because we already know that top shrine has concluded and has been used in this game. So this is why we're going to see them hold on to them for a little while, because they know where, especially if the bottom shrine is the one next to come activatable, but it will be the middle one, so they're not as valuable as they potentially could have been. They're still very useful.
That could have been much better if that was the bottom for beGenius, as they have ball stat.
Yes.
But the middle here will allow both teams to defend well. Jaina can go up there and clear that in lane. He's got 10 now. Ringer Frost, Ancestor Healing, Army of the Dead, Sylvanas with the Wailing Arrow and the Mosh Pit. Root comes out careful. Stitch is here to help out with that trade on clearing out the top lane. And the Mercenaries will push for Dignitas. They can start phase here in the middle as JPL gets aggressive.
They're trying to get Sylv here, but trying to land a Stormbolt doesn't quite get it. That would have been a good kill, then to rotate down towards the shrine and actually put on some pressure. That's going to be a mosh pit on towards Tychus. They realized Muradin wasn't there, so Sulfura Smash is going to have to be the answer, but it's not enough. That's a 3-man Ring of Frost, whilst also Kirova in the backlines trying to gust them out of the way, but he's basically gusted some of beGenius to their death here. If they're not careful, they're going to have to get out. And yes, they do, thanks to a good Dwarf Toss and dash. But that was risky business.
That was an incredibly aggressive play. And it was all warranted, because Sylvanas called out, Stormbolt was used top lane on me. I survived. Yes. Go for the engage. So JPL went for the power slide in the mosh pit, and the only way that is stopped right now is if ETC dies, Sulfura Smash is used, or Mighty Gust is used. You have to burn Heroic, and they have to make a decision quickly. And beGenius, unfortunately, the communication was slightly too late, and it was enough to allow Team Dignitas to get that kill, and also set up for a major push here in the middle.
All right, Molten Core been popped, trying to bring down this, wanting to bait the jump, do successfully up towards the top. As a little bit of harassment coming from Kirova at the back, looking to put some pressure on towards Bakery as well as Snitch. But Arthas is walking around the corner here, maybe looking for Ragnaros as he comes out. Doesn't quite catch him. Another jump, any follow-up? No power slide coming out from Jay just yet.
Stormbolt does connect. Kirova on the side here, poking, threatening to use Mighty Gust. So Dignitas will take their fort and happily leave here with a solid advantage, 12-11. Already, Arthur's pushing that top lane, so someone will have to get up there, or beGenius will miss out on that experience, which opens up Dignitas to move to the bottom right and grab Merc. Start applying pressure.
All right, so slowing down. Oh, no, we're not. beGenius looking to invade. They will not get this. Fly in. It's going to be the Gus. Kirima has to get out of there. He was used with Blast Wave as well. Rengar falls. A 4-man ring as JPL is trying to cordon off some of these members here. Arakin unstable, very vulnerable at the moment. He will go down. No palm to speak of because he took 7-sided. Arakin's going to go down as well. It's a catastrophe for beGenius. They are on the retreat.
Solid pick, but solid fight back there from Mana, hitting that major Ring of Frost, focusing down the correct targets, taking out Ragnaros as well as the Kerosene and Muradin. And now Dignitas with their Savannah still alive. Just head to the bottom and take a fort for free here. Great aggressive play from beGenius, but you have to worry about that Ring of Frost and chokes like that area.
Yeah, indeed. I think if that fight had maybe happened 3 seconds earlier where you Gus all 4 members, then you could argue that it might get value, but you still, as you say, gotta be careful of the Ring of Frost there. Very, very punishing, that move. And Jaina, you can see it in the numbers, she's done a lot because she's hit those combos oh so well. Mene is a Jaina legend.
That he is. Sylvanas continues to push the bottom. beGenius wants to get 13 here. Shrine phase should be popping up soon, and it will be in the bottom lane as we've had a Shrine in the top and the middle. So our teams will be setting up for that nicely. Dignitas is doing a wonderful job of rotating at the top and pushing in. Oh, I'm sorry, did we have the bottom phase already? So we're going to have the Shrine at the very top activating in the next 9 seconds. So Dignitas is setting up to take out this fort, get level 15, and go from there. The heroics will be available, but so does beGenius. If they get 13 and make a move right now, they could still be on even footing.
I mean, so far what we've seen from Mene has been the best Ring of Frosts that we've seen HGC Europe long. We've seen a 3-man Ring of Frost. We've seen a 4-man Ring of Frost. All we need to do now is get it bumped up a little bit, get that 5-man Ring of Frost, and be happy. But I don't know whether that's going to happen just yet. I think the beGenius will happily spread out as they look to try and establish themselves here. Commandeer Odin pops, looking for a fight.
Boat comes out, there's Stormbolt, Blizzard on the left here, zoning out Danatan. Slowly he maneuvers in, starts applying pressure. The arrow has been used. Mosh Pit is still available for the moment, but so is Mighty Gust.
Danatan did a great job of zoning them out, and he continues to do so. Once you push them there, as that wall has not been brought down, he just completed one of his quests actually, his level 1, then it means that it's very difficult for them to go on. Oh, that's a great Sulfura Smash following though. That Ring of Frost only catches 1. Kira under a bit of pressure down to the left-hand side there by JPL. Kerosene will fall. So now that they don't have their support, they're going to have to back out here. Molten Core is going to be used to try and rain down some fire onto this location. Maybe sneak a few of these skeletal minions, but I think this should go up to Team Dignitas since they have Rengar still there.
Yeah, Ragnaros is fishing right now. Ooh, another poke here. A Root comes out. Howling Blast connecting, but Airkeen is able to walk away. 30 to 27 in terms of minion trade-off.
Now, I really like Molten Core and having it when you're on the defense against the Punisher. So it's kind of a bit of a scary trade-off to say, okay, I'm going to poke them down, I'm going to try and slow them down on the Shrine. This is actually giving them a small amount of time to get that back, but no, they're not going to give them any time. So Molten Core will definitely not be up for this keep defense. I would have loved to have seen that Punisher delayed for a small bit, so the hard camp would have timed out nicely with it, but it's going to be a long, sustained push in this top lane.
Yeah, it's definitely a hindsight 2020 kind of moment.
Yes, of course.
Naturally, Dignitas with them having Arthas and Jaina, they're going to try and group up those minions so you can get the clear up, but Dignitas being aware that Molten Core was used, they spread out nicely to where the minions didn't group up for that runic.
Yeah, now the 2 hard camps have actually synced up with one another really nice. So not only is the Punisher going to be a big threat, but also the 2 hard camps after this are just going to be a big threat. So it works out. Things are locked down by Sylvanas now. Very difficult for them to actually clean up. Commandeer Odin has been popped. Dignitas trying to push on to this location and getting big damage done here. This could be game if they're not careful. They really need to burn down this Punisher, and indeed they will. But level 16 versus 15, and 16 is nowhere near sight for beGenius.
Yep, still a full level behind. Finally, the core starts to take damage here from the Punisher. JPL in the back left. Zelia looking for more. Dignitas needs to get kills because their actual auto damage isn't that great. Watch out for the Mighty Gust. Arakeen is dodged on. JPL coming in. There's a knockback. Arakeen working in the auto as well. Zelia on the left will get ancestral kill here by Bakery. Arakeen is low on health, but no kills come for Dignitas. They go for the retreat. You have to be careful there.
Oof. A new lease of life for beGenius. They defended well, made sure that they didn't lose one of their warriors in the front line. If they'd lost Muradin there, that was almost lights out.
And a solid ancestral healing from Bakery. While Arthas was about half health, you want to be careful because Sulfura Smash within the game ending if it goes at about quarter health there for Arthas there. So the Ancestral Healing came out early. It's worth it at that point just to make sure you aren't going to be taken away because all the other heroics were burned. It was just Sulfura Smash that could have gotten a takedown.
All right, so Dignitas cleaning up mid, allowing another camp to push on with them. In fact, they're going to have 2 camps here. If they can defend this first one, where are you going to go, Dignitas? You're going to be going up against 16 very soon. And not as easy to really go for something. They're going to break down the side wall, or at least try to do that for a moment. That's so many minions to clean up, but looks like Dignitas doesn't want to get much done with this just yet.
Yeah, beGenius being on equal footing, 16 to 17 in terms of talents. So play it safe here.
What do you think about the role swaps for beGenius from week to week now that we have Arcane in what looks like a full warrior role?
They're trying to find a winning moment for them, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Arcane on the roles that he's been on hasn't been really performing to what you would expect from them.
I agree with that.
So getting him on a tank, switching things up, is kind of what you have to go. You know, kind of set up on a roster when you're in the HGC. You can't change out your roster, so switch up some of your heroes, your hero pools, and maybe you can find success. And so far, it's kind of worked out. Dignitas played well on the assassin role.
Yeah. They've looked better this series so far, and again, it's against one of the big 3 compared to their previous couple of series. So I like the swap so far, definitely.
Yep, put him on a tank and let him get the experience in there, especially on heroes like Murden and Varian and ETC to a degree. You can make it work out there. Call out the communication, you're good to go. Shrine activating here in the middle.
ETC.
Playing cheeky here, power slide and watch. Could have been so grouped right now. Arcane wants to be grabbed. There we go. Hard engage on Xanatan. Power slide does pop up. Arcane goes forward and does get on top of Snitch. Nice play here by him. Punisher is going to be losing a few of the minions. 11 to 6 at the moment. Arcane jumping in though. Bakery sneaking away at the same time. Zelia on the left side. The Gust has been used and Dignitas is going to take the opportunity to switch it. Major Ring of Frost though. Ancestral Healing here too as well. All members taken out for beGenius. Murden sneaks away for now, but the 4 in the Ring of Frost all destroyed. And now Dignitas heading to the top lane will go for the win.
Mene the Freezer, he just absolutely refrigerated every single member of beGenius, a 4-man Ring of Frost, and oh god, I said it before, watch out for his Rings of Frost, and that was a killer. What a way to end that game. Team Dignitas will go 2-0 up here against beGenius. Well played.
Mene showing up here. Mr. Freeze from Batman. Just destroying people, of course, chilling them to their very core. Getting a few takedowns there. What was that, a 4-man twice there in that matchup?
Yes, brilliant stuff. I think we can take another look at that actually
Check it out
as well, because that was just absolutely perfect.
What's important is the Mighty Gust got burned.
Yes, so let's watch Mene's positioning down towards the bottom here. Wailing Arrow forces them all to retreat, which then makes them group up. And the slide, the Ring of Frost, as we slow it down, everything comes out here. Even the Ancestral on a half-health JPL, just in case any little bit of extra damage follows up, because they know that after Ring of Frost, they also have Mosh keeping them in place.
Yeah.
Really, really beautiful play. The Wailing Arrow, though, was a great setup for it, because it made that retreat possible, well, at least forcing them back up towards that choke point.
The layered heroics really come in. The Arrow, the Ring of Frost, into the Mosh Pit. And then Arcane's like, I don't want any of that. Ran off to the right side. We'll be right back, guys, for game number 3 here.
It is said that I hunt alone, wandering these bitter lands, far from civilization. But in truth, I hunt with family. One that I hold close. I protect them, and they protect me. I am Rexar, champion of the Horde. And I never hunt alone.